Hi class, it's me, Mr. Morris. We just need to go through a video real quick with a few more vocab terms and concepts from the solutions unit. This is what I would call the concentration vocab. So to start with, we need to identify what is concentration anyway. So there's two ways to define concentration. We'll get into the details of this and the significance of the difference a little bit later. But one way of defining it is the amount of solute in a certain amount of solution. The other way to identify it, it's still solute, the amount of solute dissolved with a certain amount of the solvent. Again, the exact difference between those two, we're going to get a little more detailed in a later video. But for right now, what I want you to know is it's more concentrated if there's more solute in a specific amount of the solution. It's less concentrated, it has a lower concentration if we have less solute dissolved in that same amount of the solution. Or we could say the same exact thing but use the word solvent instead of solution. If we have more solute in a specific amount of solvent, it's a high concentration. If we have less solute in a specific amount of solvent, the same amount, but we have more solute, it's high concentration, less solute, low concentration. Okay, moving on. Another vocab term we need to talk about is dilute or diluted, and then concentrated. These are opposites of each other. It's a vague term. It's not an exact science really, because I can say that if something is dilute, it kind of depends on the perspective. Dilute means there's a low amount of solute or a low concentration. So dilute means low concentration. Concentrated means high concentration. See how there's a comparison there? So this is not very specific. There's no quantification. There's no numbers involved. Later, we're going to learn to do some math with concentration. We're going to learn some units of concentration and how to calculate concentration, and that gets a lot more specific. But for right now, I just want you to know a solution with a low concentration is dilute or diluted. That means it has a lot less solute for a specific amount of solution. And concentrated means it's got a lot of solute for a specific amount of solution. In other words, it has a high concentration. The last thing that you need to know is that dilute can also be a verb. So it's possible to dilute a solution. And what that means is you add more solvent. So you've got the same solution. In other words, like let's say the solvent is water. If I have a saltwater solution, I want to dilute it, I could pour more water into it, and that would make it a lower concentration of salt water. I'm making it more diluted. So you add more solvent, it makes it more diluted. So that is another way we can use the word dilute. That's it for this video. We'll get into more detail in later videos.